Getting ready to grease the wheel bearings. Turns out I do not have a 27mm socket. So I'm on my way to the AutoZone to pick that up. But before I did, just wanted to kind of go over a few things. When you do this, make sure you have a good quality grease gun. A crappy grease gun, they're crap. So get yourself a good one. Spend the extra 10 or 15 bucks. I've seen these things, they will leak at the top, they'll leak here, the hose will blow out. Just get a good one. You know, you can get Amazon ones that are 30, 35 bucks. Try to, you know, go for more of a name brand one. I got this one, I want to say it was like 35 bucks at Home Depot or AutoZone, I can't remember, but it's a good one. I will be using the Lucas Red and Tacky grease. I like that grease. I know a lot of people use the green one, the heavy duty. They're pretty close. I think one of them has a higher heat rating, but it saves me from having to either get multiple grease guns or swap out tubes. So I'm gonna use the red stuff, the Red and Tacky. One tip for any grease situation, whether you're doing something on your vehicle, wheel bearings on a trailer, anything that deals with zerks or grease, tip: paper towels. Have a roll or two. Grease gets everywhere. You start touching things. Luckily with this, you know, I have to pull off the brake, but you know, if you get grease all over your fingers and all of a sudden you go to put this on and you get it all over there, it's no fun. So lots of paper towels. I can't stress that enough. Decided to go to Home Depot instead. I got to get some kerosene for my daughter's blaster chain. So I'll get here, get my 27mm socket, a couple of cotter pins, and some kerosene. So I kind of already disassembled it, just to see how hard it was. This castle nut, I think it's supposed to be 100 foot-pounds of torque. Way harder than that. It was ridiculous. So this is loose. Pull the cotter pin. There's 15mm bolts for the brake caliper. 1 and 2. Be careful if you already have greasy fingers. You don't want to get that on any brake parts. Pull this out. I have got the bungee to kind of hold this up out of the way. Just make sure it doesn't pull too tight on the brake hose or the brake line. And that should just pop right off. Now there is a washer here. Don't lose that. It's I don't know if it's supposed to be a conical washer. It's got a little bit of a curve to it, but the curve is on the outside, and you can obviously see the marks from the castle nut. I already sprayed this with some brake cleaner because I did have to put a little WD-40 and use a heat gun to get this castle nut off. It's a pain in the butt. Let's get this set aside. I don't want to get any grease on this, so I'm actually going to set it pretty far away. So this is supposed to work. So here's the tool. Rubber O-ring, Zerk fitting. It should just slide right in there. I will wipe this off a little bit. My paper towels. This actually has quite a bit of grease still in it, so I don't know. It just says to check and replace the bearings as needed. I think these are sealed bearings. I'm not going to put very many pumps in there. I can still see quite a bit of grease. I'm probably going to go with maybe 5 pumps. I know people say 10, 20 pumps. I'm not in that category. I don't want to over grease it. They are sealed bearings, and I don't feel like blowing out the seals and having to get new bearings right now. So let me get my grease gun. The only thing I don't like about this grease gun is this way it holds the handle in. You gotta hold it down, push it off, and then if you forget to, where's my tool? To take the, oops, to put the cap on, and you gotta squeeze more grease out of it. I'm putting a little bit of grease around the O-ring. They say it's just a little bit easier to get on. I don't want to smother it. Yeah, maybe a little more liberal on this. Okay, let's see how this goes. So there's a little groove right there, and that's where the oil or the grease comes out and then gets inside all of the nooks and crannies. Let's see how well this thing works. A little more elbow grease. Grease. There we go. She is in. I did 6. I don't see any grease coming out, and that's fine. I don't want to over grease it. I don't want to push out any of the seals, blow those things out. Again, paper towels. These things are a lifesaver. I've got grease everywhere. That's all she wrote. Look how dirty it is in there. Using my O-ring already. This is a really thin O-ring. I don't know how long this thing's gonna last. It did get, there was an extra one in there. But definitely leave me a comment. How often do you guys grease your wheel bearings? I know some of the forums they say, you know, after every couple of rides. This is the first time I've done it, and I've got a little over 1,000 miles on it. Again, the manual doesn't say anything about greasing the bearings. It just says inspect and replace if needed. I guess I probably should have inspected them first, but I didn't feel any crazy play when I took the wheel off. Okay, so that looks good. Let me get the hub back on, and we'll move on to the next one. I will probably not film the next one. I mean, they're all going to be pretty much the same. The rears, very similar, so I won't film all of those. So, like, subscribe, tell me what you think. If you see that I'm doing something wrong, hey, let me hear about it. Again, let me know how often everyone's greasing their bearings, if they're doing it at all. If someone's had their machine for a couple of years now, and they've never greased the bearing, how's it wearing? Notice anything? And again, if you touch your disc with greasy hands like I just did, get a towel, wipe it down with some brake cleaner. You should be fine. I'm gonna do that right now. just turn the wheel. Just watch out for the splines for the lug bolts. They might come up and bite you a little bit. I'm using the non-chlorinated brake clean green can. I wouldn't spray it on any other parts except brakes, or I don't know, something that's not going to touch rubber or plastic. Put that back on. I believe this is 100 foot-pounds. I'm going to have to double check. I checked a couple weeks ago before I even got the grease tool. I believe this is 100 foot-pounds of torque, so I'm going to have to check that. But I won't bore you with that, with me torquing that down. Obviously, click, click, click. Set it to what it's supposed to be. I will leave some comments in the description about what this torque is. I'll see if I can find the torque specs for the brake caliper. Hopefully I can find those. As always, like, subscribe, comment. Love to hear from you. I'm trying to really get this channel going. The more people that subscribe, the better it will be. The more content I'll be able to produce, and the better the content will be. Thanks.